Care again before I go to sleep. Watch some of the tournament stuff. Yeah. It's fascinating. It's disturbing and fascinating at the same time that people still think they can behave and speak in archaic language that is fantasy and makes no sense. And it's fascinating because because I've talked to people and they really believe like the people on TV. No, Jesus is God and said this. He never says that, and that's not true. I was sitting there watching this stuff, and I was like, they can clone dogs now for $50,000. Does that make the people that can clone go clone dogs God? Okay. Because my family, every time we talk about Jesus, I say, no, he's not a God. Yes, he is. He raised people from the dead, and he was brought back from the dead. Okay, people can clone dogs now, which means they can clone your kid if your kid dies of heart disease, and then try to clone a healthy heart for it so your kid doesn't die from heart disease. Haley Joel Osment people. So does that make the people that can do it God? This is a very valid and good question. Okay, and then they'll say, no, they use science to do it, and Jesus used magic. So if I can use magic to bring people back from the dead and bring dogs back from the dead, I'm God. But if I go in a science lab and I do it, I'm an apostate pretending to play God. There's no God but God, and God's not begotten, nor is God begotten. God always is, always has been, and always will be. Okay. Just because people can manipulate matter and elongate the existence of a flesh temple, which is literally trapping the soul in the temple. Okay, say it's like Steve Buscemi's rabbit on Igor, right? That's what it's like. If you could live forever and no one else could, your life would be miserable because everybody you were attached to that you appreciate, love, you would watch them like Liv Tyler's character with Hugo Weaving not wanting her to marry Aragon. Do you get it? Okay. You would linger, and your husband and your children would be part human while your husband go old and died, and your children grew old and died. Okay, do you understand? So, wake up. Hello, McBurger, McFly. Okay, so I sit and I watch these people, and I'm like, ah. And me, when I sit and talk about the stuff about Layla Ali and Muhammad Ali's grandson, and you talk all that shit and everything, guys, I got in a car accident in Phoenix, bounced my head off the roof. There was no blunt force trauma. They thought I was trying to pull a insurance scam. Okay, I had no helmet and got hit harder off the roof of that pickup truck that got bent in half, harder than any football player has ever been hit by another football player, and got concussed and couldn't play football anymore. I had no helmet on, and I was the only cognizant person after the accident to calm everybody else down and make sure they were all right. I had a punk in Sierra Vista because I don't get into altercations or fights. I just want to have people act right. Punch me in the face point blank trying to play Vin Diesel to the Chinese guy on the Fast and the Furious, and it didn't even faze me. Okay, it left a little divot. It didn't even bruise my jaw. It didn't break my jaw. Okay, it would have broke all your jaws. Okay, because he sucker punched me. Okay, any one of you, it would have broke your jaw. Like what happened to Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle. Okay, so I'm not talking shit. I've lived my life, and you haven't lived my life. And scientists in the military, like, he ain't talking shit, but they won't say that because they're full of shit. Okay, do you understand? So don't come up in my life and tell me about my life. And the other thing with stuff with Regina King's son, when you guys put the videos on there, I connected. He prayed to the eternal spirit of the Father. And I hear what I hear. I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell them put these videos on YouTube. I had a conversation while I was cleaning the shed with who I believe it was Ian. And this is what he said. Okay. And no, he loves his mom. It's just he's trying to understand what unconditional love is. And unconditional love is what Jesus Christ gives us, not people that have conditions on love where they sit there and say, I can only love you if you are what I expect you to be and if you do whatever makes me happy. And if you do something that doesn't make me happy, I'll no longer love you. So I believe Regina King does unconditionally love Ian because she still loves him, even though he took himself away because he couldn't live in this horrible world the way it is right now. Okay, guys? So I love you very much. All right? Peace out.